Captain Cool and the Bandi Man.
Hello and welcome in, everybody, to a wacky Wednesday. That's right, it's already Wednesday here in No Man's Land. Welcome to the Afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, the Captain Cool.
Oh my goodness, it's
Captain Cool. Someone lose a grenade. Oh yeah. I can tell you this much. If my guys in the studio were not so on it, and I was going to say, I'm your host, the Captain Cool, and there was no... Thank you. They're so on it, they're just consistently amazing with it. But if I said it, okay, you guys are pushing it, all right? If I said it and that didn't happen, okay, we didn't have the sounder, it'd just be awkward silence. And I'm so glad that doesn't have to happen anymore. I think we just we got everything down on pat. So I think great job to everybody behind the glass. So give them a little clap right there. But make sure you guys can find us online at theblitzsportsradio.com, on Facebook at The Blitz Sports Radio, and on Twitter at @theblitz_sports. And while you're at it, go and follow us on Twitch and YouTube at WZZNTV. You can watch us live really anywhere on social media, but you can't chat with us as much as you can on Twitch and YouTube. So get that, because I know if you guys don't want to call in, which you guys can at 256-576-4977, and if you're watching the stream, it is up on the video feed, so you guys will never forget what that is. But if you guys don't want to call in, just chat with us on the chat, and we'll see everything you've got to say, and we will put in our input. I remember the other day we got a guy from Poland saying his hellos, and that was very nice. It made me very happy, made Bandi very happy as well. But you know what else makes me very happy? This first hour being presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Yes, that's right. The guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you've got any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online and fill out your free quote today. Remember, Fleming shows up. And you're going to need to have them, because this rain just, it stops and then it comes, and it stops and it comes, and it's literally back and forth now. And you don't want your house to be dripping or anything, so make sure that roof is sitting sturdy for the elements to come, especially here in this Tennessee Valley, okay? But you're live hanging with the chillest crew of 2 in Sports Radio in the booth, keeping the show on the air, the one, the only, Bandi Man Bailey Larry.
How is it going, Captain Cool, on this wacky Wednesday?
Oh, it's going really good, Bandi. It's going amazing, actually. And I told you before the show, I said, hey, I got something. Start off the show. It's going to be insane. It's going to be crazy. It's going to really set the tone for this wacky Wednesday. And I didn't tell you, okay?
You did not tell me at all.
I wanted your live reaction, okay? Because yesterday, as I was leaving, we all know the Parkway is a mess. Okay, during rush hour. We're trying to get out of here, all right? I'm trying to get out of here. You can just hit the back roads, get to your place. That's all good and dandy, all right?
Right.
Some of us are trying to get the heck out of Dodge. That's the thing, all right? And that Parkway, I'll say this, Huntsville, great city, amazing city. I love this place. Love it. One of my favorite. But that Parkway is a danger/death zone, all right? That is a death match waiting to happen. And yesterday, I got all of it. I was driving. We had bumper-to-bumper traffic, okay? I'm very good at keeping an eye on the person in front of me, all right? So I'm just, like, making sure, I stop, so I'm all good. When I was getting on to the main Parkway, all right, I let a car get in front of me. Then he drove up, and then I passed him, and I got in front of him. And I was just like, okay, you know what? This is how you're supposed to do it. If you're not continuously moving on that Parkway, there's going to be something bad happening, all right? There's going to be a wreck. There's going to be something stupid, all right? There's sometimes when you do need to slow down or stop, and that's something the guy behind me did not do. And then you know what? I don't want to blame him at all, but I came to a pretty quick, abrupt stop, all right? The guy behind me, I look up in my rearview mirror. This man's coming at me pretty quick, all right?
Oh, boy.
And I don't see him slowing down, and I start seeing the whites of his eyes, all right? And I'm like, this guy's getting close. And I was just like bracing for impact. It's time, it's time for this to finally happen to me. Mm-hmm. And I just see him get really close. I think he's going to stop. And then I just get a boom, nudge to the back, thrown forward. Not too much forward, all right? It wasn't that crazy of a hit, but it felt like it was a pretty sturdy hit to the back, all right? Then 2 trucks literally behind him go off to the side of the road. As soon as I look to the left or look to the right, there's 2 trucks. So they had to dodge from making it even worse than it could have been, because it could have been terrible, okay? It could have been a 7-car pileup or something like that. Thankfully, it was only my Mustang and the 2006 Mercury behind me, all right? We pull off to the side. Now this is when the real fun happens, because you got people flying on that road outside of the traffic, okay? Once that traffic starts picking up again, it's going fast.
Very true.
We both get out of the cars. You know, he comes up to me. I'm like, hey, you know what? It happens. This is something that happens all the time on this road, okay? You see cars on the side of it all the time, all right? Exchange information, all that stuff. Get on with my day, and I leave. Probably in and out of that altercation in 5 minutes, all right? I don't want to deal with it, especially because, you know, I looked at the back of my car. It wasn't too much damage. It was a little bit. And, you know, if it was the Ford Expedition that I'd be rocking, the shag wagon itself, somebody hits me in the back of that thing, I don't really care, okay? That thing is, it's a shag wagon. It's all beat up and broken. That's just how it is. But it still runs, because that's that Ford-built, Ford-tough type stuff, all right? Huh. Reminded me of my second segment already. But I'm okay. I'm all right, all right? That's what I'll say. Everything's fine. The car is fine. It still drives, so that's all that matters. I was able to drive home. And, yeah, it's just interesting thing right off the bat, okay? So.
Yeah, I mean, the Parkway, oh, boy.
Yeah.
You don't want to be on it between, like, 4 and 6 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to be on it.
That's me every single day. Right after the show, I get on that thing and I'm off. And kind of slowly, but I'm going. You know, I'm trying to get the heck out of Dodge. That's what I'm trying to do. Thankfully, I'm all right, Bandi. It's okay. You don't have to check on me. I wanted to save this so I could see your reaction, and you know what? I'm glad that I did, because is interesting story I could finally tell the masses. But now I got a question for you, Bandi, so you can kind of, you know,
all right,
ease into the show a little bit before we get too crazy with all the information that has come out in the span of 22 hours. And that is, who would you play, or who would you want to play you in a movie about you?
Who?
So
Chad's got Ryan Gosling locked in.
For himself?
For himself.
Ryan Gosling for the Chad, okay.
For me, though.
Yeah?
Ryan Gosling? I don't know. I might go with another Ryan. Maybe. I don't know. Is Ryan Reynolds too easy of a pick?
No, Ryan Reynolds, you could pick him. I'd say.
Maybe like a Ryan Reynolds, a Tom Holland. If we're doing like an older
Okay.
movie of me,
Okay.
I want Tom Hanks to play me.
Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't know how you're going to look. You might not look like Tom Hanks. That's all I'm saying. But maybe he could play it. I think Tom Holland, if he could grow a beard, then he'd be rocking your look, all right? And put on some glasses, I think he'll be fine.
You bring up a good point. I've never seen that guy with a beard.
He doesn't get one. He just doesn't grow it. He literally is a 20-something-year-old child. That's what I never thought that he was older than 20 years old, but he is. But he's actually older than me. Yeah, he's older than me. So you would have Ryan Reynolds or Tom Holland as you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would probably go with Bradley Cooper for me. All right. I think it's a great pick. I think he'd obviously need to get, you know, dark eye contacts or something like that, because I got dark eyes. He's got the opposite. But I think Bradley Cooper would play me perfectly. And then, if not him, if we're talking about the blonde version of me, you know who we got to go with.
Who?
We got to go with the one High School Musical man himself. You know who I'm talking about. What's his name?
Corbin Blue?
No, not Corbin Blue. Come on.
Ashley Tisdale?
What's the no? That plays Summer probably. What's his name? I had it before the show and I totally just lost it. The main dude.
Zac Efron?
Zac Efron, that's his name. He's got blonde hair now or something
He
like
does?
that. And he's got a big old chin. Love it, but it's like facial. He had to do some facial restructuring or he would have lost his life or something like that. I don't know.
You know who I could also see playing you?
Whom?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal?
I could see it.
I wouldn't mind Jake Gyllenhaal. I feel like he's a good depressed actor, and in my depressed moments, I think he'd really, really pull out the John in him.
Now, if I wanted to press that, they're going to go Keanu Reeves.
Oh, jeez. I don't see him as either of us, though. He doesn't look like either of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No one can look like Keanu Reeves.
Now, if you guys have any input on who could play me and the Bandi Man in a movie about ourselves, 256-576-4977, or throw it in the streams chat, guys. That'd be awesome. I actually want to see what you guys would think. who would you pick? That's what it's all about. But Bandy, I think it's time to get into the fun.
Let's do it.
Get into the news, because today is January 18th, 2023, and here's what you need to know in the Blitz. Today, the effects of Black Monday are lingering, with the latest coach being on the chop block from his respected team, and that coach in question is Buccaneers offensive coordinator Brian Leftwich. Now, head coach Todd Bowles, he said he's not fully clear on what he wants to do with his offensive coordinator, all right? This is just something that has been thrown out there. We have seen some type of news outlets say that he has already been fired, but that is not the case. They're still waiting on it. There's going to be a meeting later on in this week. That is when we will find everything out. But right now, Brian Leftwich is the guy who is going to probably need to watch for a new job, okay?
Yeah, which kind of surprises me, really.
It really does.
Because, I mean, I get they didn't have a good offensive game. I mean, that's about as nicely as you can put it against Dallas.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, he's been their offensive coordinator for what, like the past 3 or 4 years?
Yes, he was with them when they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And what, didn't Tom Brady lead the league in passing last year too?
They did a great job with it, yeah.
There you go.
I think he...
I don't see it. I don't see this as a smart fire.
I don't think it's the move that he needs to go with, but I think it's the move if Tom Brady wants to stay as a Buccaneer. And it goes into a lot of deeper things. I think his time there maybe is overextended his stay. Maybe he needs to find somewhere else to be. But right now, that is the main thing they're looking at. The line's not doing the best. Tom Brady's like 45 years old now. I mean, that's another thing you got to take into account. The guy's getting old. I know he's the GOAT, but at the same time...
Goats get old.
Goats get old, too. That's exactly. How old do goats actually live, Bandy, while you're typing over there?
Tom Brady age. Yeah, he actually is 45.
He's 45.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow, what can I say?
How old do goats live? 15 to 18 years.
15 to 18. See, that's...
See, he's already well lived out his
Exactly.
lifespan.
And we're only talking about his career in the football world, all right? Because he's well past 15 to 18 years, okay? This guy's been playing for a minute now. But, I mean, looking at that last game, I mean, obviously, offensive line was very flaky, okay? But he only put up a QBR of 24.1 with the, how many, 66 pass attempts that he had?
Yeah.
So they're really trying to, push him to be the GOAT that he needs to be in the playoffs, but I don't know if that is what needed to happen against that high-powered defense that was the Cowboys team, okay?
Yeah.
You got to rely on a little bit more than a 45-year-old GOAT, okay, that's well past his prime, all right? I'd like to see him still be in his prime, but...
I mean, you know what I might call this?
What would you call this?
Shifting the blame.
Yeah, shifting the blame. I really don't... I mean, Todd Bowles... of course, he's got some great things out of Tom Brady. That's great. But he's also gotten some great things out of Brian Leftwich. And whenever Tom Brady himself is not performing well, it's not going to be Tom Brady's fault. It's going to be the offensive coordinator's fault. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, it's never Tom Brady's fault.
It's never Tom Brady's fault. Never.
What do you mean? It can't be Tom Brady's fault.
Tom Brady's still a spectacular player, I'll say that. But he's definitely not in his prime. And you know what? I don't know if he'll ever find those types of stats anymore, even though we will be talking with RJ White from Sportsline.com to talk a little bit more on where Tom Brady's future lies, where he's going to go, and if there's even a chance that he'll stay with this Buccaneers squad moving forward.
Or heck, even Brian Leftwich. Because if he gets let go, I guarantee you, like, any team that sees that kind of opportunity would not be afraid to pick him up.
Oh, no. There's a lot of teams that I know that need a good offense coordinator like Brian Leftwich. But moving on, the Titans get a new GM in the form of former 49ers executive Ron Carthon. And this one is a pretty good pickup. I'll say this. For the Titans to pick this man up, it's something that they needed because the 49ers have always been this team that has had so much depth. And this is the reason they're able to go so far in the playoffs, okay? Something that the Titans haven't been able to do thanks to the sheer amount of injuries that hinder the team. This is where they need the depth, okay? With a guy like Ron Carthon, all right? I gotta get his name right. Even the sites that I've looked on have spelt his name wrong and then right numerous times. But either way, there's actually a little bit more to this story, though, okay? Because we look over at a young QB and what he is throwing out on social medias in wake of this pickup from the Titans. And I think we all know which quarterback we're talking about. The only really not well. Actually, there's 2 young quarterbacks on that 49ers team, but it's definitely not the one that's succeeding right now in Brock Purdy. Okay, but it's a little cryptic message that we kind of talked about yesterday with Lamar Jackson, but now we're talking about a new cryptic message from Trey Lance. Yes, remember that guy? Played 2 weeks in the NFL this year. No, Chad doesn't remember him. I don't really remember. Where did he even go to school? I'm just kidding. I know where he went to school. North Dakota State. Can you believe that? Not even an SEC school, and he has that much buzz around him. I know that North Dakota State team's really good, and they've been really good because of Trey Lance, but still, it's North Dakota State.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar Jackson came from Louisville.
That's a bigger school than North Dakota State.
Fair enough.
It's just how it is. But I mean, yeah, Lance.
Patrick Mahomes.
He's fine too. I mean, where did he go to school?
At Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. He went to Texas Tech. Yeah, he probably dabbled in another school. I don't know. There's gonna be a lot more weird stuff going on in the future, but still. But yeah, Trey Lance, he put on his story, on his Instagram story, a picture of Ron Carthen, and it was a picture, just a normal picture of the announcement, him going to the Titans, and then it was 3 crossed finger emojis, where it's just like, ooh, 3 crossed fingers, okay? Some might think nothing about this, all right? Some might think, oh, he's just wishing him farewell, he's wishing him, happy future to you, okay? But then some are thinking, hey, the Titans need, a young quarterback at least, that could possibly bring this team up from the depths of hell that they are in, okay? I will say Malik Willis might not be that guy. I will say Joshua Dobbs is not young, and he is definitely not that guy. Trey Lance, on the other hand, I don't know. We still haven't really seen a lot from him because he's been injured twice, big times, in his 2 years in the NFL. But now this guy's going on his 3rd year. You'd think he'd get the injuries in check.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to ask the Titans fans out there, do you think Trey Lance will look good in blue?
I think he would look good in blue, honestly.
Yeah? I think he'd look pretty good. I think he'd look pretty cool. I think it's something I know I talked about this the other day. Titans having Lamar Jackson would be a thing. If it was, I don't know how well it would be for a transition for the Titans to kind of switch to that Wildcat-friendly offense, but Trey Lance, on the other hand, you might throw this kid in there and something special might happen, especially because he's at the lowest point in his career right now. Okay, he's just looking at Brock Purdy as he's winning games in the playoffs pretty handily too, and he's like, maybe I need to move on to another team. And if this did happen, obviously the Titans would have to pick up the humongous contract that this kid got out of college, which is $34 million. And also, the 49ers would need to make this decision this offseason if they want to keep Lance long term.
It's kind of like at this point, heading into the offseason, depending on how well you play in the playoffs, do you stick with Brock Purdy and kind of invest in him a little bit more going forward and look for a trade option with Trey Lance? Or do you kind of go back to what you've got and try to push that up more, knowing you've got a pretty good weapon in your back pocket in Purdy?
They really could, go to Trey Lance. I don't think Jimmy G's going to have any more time in San Francisco, okay?
You don't think so?
He was signed a 1-year contract for $7 million, and he did what he does best, and that's being injured before the playoffs, okay? And we're looking at it now, and we're thinking, if Trey Lance is gone, they're already thinking about keeping Brock Purdy in, even if Jimmy G comes back this playoff season, which I don't think he's going to even be back, but if he does, either way, it doesn't matter because Brock Purdy's still the guy. I see them really pushing with Brock Purdy going into next year. And it's going to be awesome to see because now we're going to see this kid start off a season and play the entirety of it. And we're going to see him actually go through teams that are difficult, teams that are very easy to beat. And we're going to see how he could go into the longevity of a season because he's only played, 6 games?
Yeah. Not very much.
And I mean, he's doing a great job, but those teams haven't been the best either. But that's something we're going to have to wait and see. What are the 49ers going to do with Trey Lance? And will the Titans have him by the end of this offseason? I wouldn't mind seeing that. Titans need something to kind of stir themselves up so they can actually have that longevity throughout the season going into the playoffs. And then top-ranked QB in the ESPN 300, Jaden Rashada, is in an interesting situation as his NIL deal with the Gator Collective fell through, leaving Billy Napier scrambling to find a way to get this kid back on campus in wake of the failed $13 million deal from Gator Collective. Rashada has returned home to San Francisco instead of enrolling, and last season, the 6'4", 185-pounder passed for 5,275 yards, 59 touchdowns, and only threw 18 interceptions. 59 touchdowns? You're telling me this kid threw over 5,000 yards? Holy crap, these high schoolers are built different nowadays.
Yeah, his high school numbers are absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, do you really want to put this much money toward a kid who you haven't seen play a single down of college ball yet?
That's this whole thing with the NIL deals, dude. You never know.
Yeah. But I mean, I get it from the point. It's like, okay, the stats are absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you really in a position, though, to be demanding this much money before you even get to campus?
People forget that these are kids, all right? Whenever you're a college student and you're going into the NFL, that's a different story. You're going into an organization that has that money to be able to just give out, okay? The NIL, you'd say the same thing about that, but at the same time, maybe not. We're running a little late, but Bandi, I want to get what you're going to be talking about during the E-play-by-play later on. That'll be at 3:30 after our interview with R.J. White. Bandi, what do you got on the books today?
Oh boy. Well, we have a Korean pro player in League of Legends has been permanently banned on the Korean League server for breaking a new rule, and Season 2 of Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, guess what? Has been pushed back 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
From the 1st to the 14th. And if this is feeling like deja vu, this literally happened on the exact same day last year.
Wow.
For Vanguard.
Jeez.
Actually, maybe 1 day apart. I think it happened like on the 22nd or something.
Hey, it's one of those things. You get a new game and you're trying to push out the content really quick. You got that live service thing. It sometimes doesn't work. For games like Halo that have tried to do live service now, I can give them a pass, okay? But for Call of Duty, who's been a live service game for the last several years, you'd expect a little bit more out of this team.
Yeah, you had, let's see, this exact same thing happened last year.
Yeah.
You have a full year on, actually probably more because you spent more time developing this game, remember? You have more than a year to kind of look back, as well as a year to look at what's going wrong with Vanguard and not repeat that.
Yeah.
You are repeating what Vanguard did.
Don't repeat it.
That's not good. You don't want to copy what Vanguard does.
Definitely not what Vanguard does. Definitely
not at all.
Not. But we're going to hop into a break, guys. When we come back, the cool segment starts a little early. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Guys, when we were 20, we never had to worry about spontaneity. And now that we've gotten older, spontaneity has been replaced with pills and injections. We're just trying to keep that intimacy, but it's taken away from spontaneity. At Advanced Life Clinic, we now offer GainsWave, which uses sound waves to non-invasively treat this issue with no need for pills or injections. Just give us a call, 256-888-9367, or check us out online at advancedlifeclinic.com.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed precision overhead garage door service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision overhead garage door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision overhead garage door service. Call 256-400-4500.
Hello, listeners. I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press and what we have to offer our community. We specialize in paper printing and can help from designing your piece to the finished product. We print media guides for many of the athletic departments at high schools and universities around the area. We typically purchase sponsorships from these schools as well to try and help them with their fundraising. Once we have reached our new normal, we also print all types of marketing materials for you to hand out either in person, via mail, or at various trade shows and events. At Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
The Blitz has been called.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. Wacky Wednesday here in No Man's Land. Welcome to the afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Cap Cool, alongside the Bandi man, Bailey Lowry.
Yep.
And we've had fun as of right now. Okay, we went through a few stories. Couldn't fill everything in. I did talk about my my accident I had last night, so that's something I went off of. Not the best afternoon I had, but before that, it was amazing. The afternoon Blitz yesterday, spectacular episode. If you guys missed that, make sure you check it out on our socials at Twitter, at @theblitz_sports, and on Facebook at the Blitz Sports Radio. And I know you guys can get all of that fun access to all of the great shows on the app, the Blitz Sports Radio, and that is on Apple and Android devices, along with our sister station 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Now, this hour is presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you've got any roofing problems, look them up online and fill out your very own free quote today, and Fleming will show up and get your place looking nice and secure. That's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Make sure you guys check them out. The thing I want to get into, okay, got a lot of fun stories. Obviously, there's stories in college football. Talia Tagovailoa, he's going back to Maryland. That's awesome. Wonderful story for them, okay? He's probably going to do a decent time there, maybe go on to NFL in the future. But the stories I want to focus on today focus around hockey.
Okay.
Tom took my story, and he used it in his show. I was a little upset. But this is a cool story where it's just like, oh, well, everybody's kind of respecting each other's boundaries. Everybody's respecting each other, and I like that, okay? And then, because we have such a great matchup in the playoffs coming up in the 49ers versus the Cowboys, I want to take a little look back on all the other great matchups that have been the 49ers and the Cowboys in the playoffs. So that is what's coming up on What's Cool.
It's getting hot in here.
That's a spicy meatball. Surely do be.
So it's time to cool down with Captain Cool.
Respecting each other. Yeah. Alright, sorry, I had to get crash up on my computer. The camera changes angles every single day, I'll say that. We gotta put some tape down so nobody moves it. Alright? I like it at one angle. Maybe that one over there. I don't know. One of the two angles is nice. Straight on, you guys can really see my big old forehead. Look at this thing. Thanks for letting this roll a little bit, though. Very nice. But I want to get straight into this, okay? It's a quick little story I just want to talk on. Something that you can take whatever you want from, okay? Everybody's going to respect whatever you think, whatever you feel. But this is something I wanted to look at because of how interesting it is, because it's one of those things where a lot of people would get canceled for it, all right? But this type of thing right here, There's a little bit more respect going down. People are understanding it, and, it's in hockey, so not as many people, I guess, care. I want more people to care. I love the hockey world, but still, okay? But it was from last night's Philadelphia Flyers game when they hosted the Ducks, okay? And you know what? It was a special night. It was Pride night. Why not? Okay? Gotta love it. Rainbow jerseys, rainbow sticks, all that stuff. Auction it off for a good cause, all right? Bring awareness to the LGBT community, okay? That's what they were doing. They were rocking them in the pre-games, which I've always wished that, the jerseys, the unique jerseys that they wear during the pre-games, they were able to wear during the actual games, okay? There are some sick ones, okay? The Vegas Knights, they have some really, really cool pre-game uniforms that they rock. And then any other team in the league, they also have the breast cancer awareness jerseys that just look awesome. You can't wear those during the game, though. And it's very stingy. The NHL is very stingy in that, okay? There's the two main jerseys, and you can sometimes throw in your reverse retro, and if you're in the stadium game, you get another one. But they're really just stern on this. But we got a little bit of the rainbow uniforms, and I gotta say, pretty cool. They had the rainbow on the numbers. They had the rainbow stick tape and all that stuff. But one of the Flyers players, okay, he chose not to participate in the warm-ups because of, you guessed it, religion. That one man is named Ivan Provorov. Okay, this guy's Russian, all right? You can tell by the name. I've been able to say it. I was practicing before this segment. Provorov. He said, quote, I respect everyone's choices, okay? Respectable. That's a good way to start off this quote, okay? Yeah. My choice is to stay true to myself and my religion. That's all I'm going to say. That's all people really should say, okay, when it comes down to it, all right? Obviously, we're in a world where, this type of stuff is a sensitive subject, and I feel like going into this, I'd be a little bit more sensitive about it, which I obviously am going to stick to that. But when I was listening to Tom beforehand, I was thinking, geez, if this guy doesn't get canned, I'm not going to get canned. I'm tippy-toeing around this whole subject. But I got to say, the way that Ivan approached this it seemed respectful to everybody, okay? Baney, my first thought is, okay, how do you think the social media world is going to react to all of this? And how do you think they already have reacted to this?
Okay, I can already tell you how I think they're going to react and then how I know they're going to react.
Okay.
How I think? Well, it's kind of the same thing. They probably went crazy.
Probably.
Yeah, I would like to think that, again, any kind of these subjects, any one of these stories involving this subject blows up, it's always a Twitter crowd.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that the Twitter crowd can't separate that the Twitter crowd is not the same as the people in real life.
Yeah, no, it's totally true. That Twitter crowd is wild.
It was. I actually did go to the comment section under this story. I think I saw someone retweeted it or liked it, and it was volatile.
Yeah.
It's like that doesn't matter. You should have been out there with the rest of the team anyway.
What's he gonna wear? He's just gonna wear a normal warm up? Maybe.
Yeah.
Coulda.
It's like one of them was like, that's a nice way to hate. Say you don't like LGBT people. I'm like, wow, really?
Yeah.
I was like, that's what you got from his statement, from his 2-sentence statement that he was just very clear about?
Yeah. That's what I think a lot of people jump to is they want to say, oh, this guy hates certain group of people. But it's not about hate. It's about, somebody's religious beliefs, some of their beliefs that are outside of religion even, just personal beliefs, and they want to respect everybody about it. And, I've seen some mixed stuff on the Twitter's world, all right? Seeing how this comes from a guy, from Russia, this guy's from Russia, first off.
Yeah.
That says one thing. You'd think, this guy's going to stand up for himself, and, what he believes, because mainly he's Russian and all that stuff. But I've seen tweets like this one right here. Okay, Pravi is a professional hockey player, gets millions to play a game. Kids look up to him. He should set a positive example. And they said that wrong, by the way. I just make sure I corrected it. They said set an positive example. That doesn't make any sense. Not very professional act. That's my view. Grow up hair, put a jersey on for warm-up, was not going to kill him. And then I see, on the other side of the spectrum, which is kind of funny because we can work that in. LGBT, there's different sides of the spectrum. They're everywhere, I guess. But this other person backed this comment up by saying, funny thing is, he did actually grow a pair and stood true to what he believes in. This is not the land of freedom. Who are you to tell him what he believes is wrong? If somebody is LGBTQ, why do they need hockey players to skate for them? It's beyond ridiculous. So, there's some things where you can take it out of context. You could say this guy hates this community. But then you see this and he's standing up for himself. Other people are saying, how about you grow a pair and just put on the jersey? Well, in some ways, he grew a pair and did what he thought was right for himself and his beliefs.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't dog the man for, what he believes in because, he still says, respect to them. I'm just personally not going to rock this jersey or this stick tape, okay? He's not dogging anybody. He'd hope that nobody would dog him back. Excuse me. And then moving on, we see a little bit more from the coach perspective, John Tortorella, which I almost said was Tortellini earlier. I thought that would have been more funny, but he seems to side with his players as well, saying, quote, "It's one thing I respect about Pravi. He's always true to himself." And yes, Ivan Pravi, this man, is a Russian Orthodox, which I never knew about before today, but turns out it's similar to Christianity with some differences within the waters, within the weeds of that. But I don't know. I think that what he's doing could be seen as the wrong thing to the 2023 world that we are in today. But you got to still respect a man for his beliefs and standing for what he believes. So, yeah. I don't know. Bandi, you got any final things to talk about on this one?
Some of these tweets are just out there.
Yeah.
Like, they are out there.
They really go into the deeper stuff of this. They don't need to. They hear this type of story and they throw the first thing they can at the wall.
Yeah. It's someone tweeted out, it's more on the Flyers. Pravi is one. I cannot say that on the air. Flyers' entire organization couldn't come up with anything better than a weak statement that barely addressed the issue and played them in full, and they still get to pretend they care about the community.
Come on.
Are you just forgetting about the amount of charity work that the Flyers have actually done?
So much. The owner shaking hands with, I think, 50-plus LGBT members who were in attendance that night.
Yeah, multitudes of the players and the organization themselves being openly in support. In fact, and the fact that they're still hosting a Pride Night.
They have a Pride Night, for crying out loud. They have jerseys with rainbows on the back. It's not the Flyers' fault that one player believes in what he believes. You can't dog a man for his individual beliefs. And I know I'm saying beliefs a lot, all right? But that's exactly what it comes down to. If you respect somebody, you should respect them back.
Yeah.
All right?
Respect's a two-way street.
It's a two-way street. There's no hate involved in this until the Twitter world gets a hold of these stories, and then we see what other people have to say who think they're involved with a professional organization that deals with thousands of people within the organization.
As someone who's been a part of the Twitterverse for, God, so long, probably way too long at this point.
Probably, Bandi.
It's like, this is just par for the course.
Yeah.
Like, this is nothing new for when any kind of news story drops out. Like, the Twitter crowd just grossly simplifies it.
Yeah.
Or just doesn't read.
Exactly. They don't look too into it. And,
and don't worry. I'm not talking about the people on Twitter who just, like, kind of hop on, just casually scroll through. No, we're talking about the people I like to call chronically online.
Yeah.
Like, the ones who are never off of Twitter.
Yeah, they sit on their computers, okay, in a dark room. And
they live on it.
They have Twitter in one, and then they have Reddit in the other. And then they're going back and forth trying to stir up the internet.
Yeah, it's like their whole job is being on Twitter. And most of the time, it's a lot of bad hot takes. And wait, no, did I just see that Chris Ford passed away?
Oh, no.
Oh, no, that's an old school basketball player. Dang it,
well,
10 minutes ago?
There you guys go, breaking news. Chris Ford passes away. Bandi, if you want to bring that up a little bit, you can. Feel free to. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say about that one. I know I kind of made that more lengthy than it needed to be, but it's something to really look at, and I'm glad that the Flyers actually did what they did. They still let the man play. Respectable. Respect the Flyers for that. And you know what? They went on to win 5-2.
Yeah.
Nothing changes. Everybody had a great night, and the Flyers are victorious. So, say what you will on Twitter, but in the real world over here, we're just a whole bunch of respectful people.
Chris Ford, though, passed away an hour ago.
Jeez. Anything more to that story, or?
Age of 74. I mean, he was on the Boston Celtics 1981 championship team, and he was also a coach.
Wow.
And there's actually a fun stat about him if you didn't know, too. He was the first person in basketball to make a three-pointer.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
He is the first player to make a three-point basket.
I thought you were about to say something about an alley-oop. I was like, whoa, But still, that's even crazier because a three-pointer is a daily thing.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's daily now, but back in the day, it was not a thing.
That's really interesting, Bandi. Thank you for giving me a little bit of information on that. You know I'm not the basketball guy, but I will gladly take all the information I can for that so I can get better at all of the takes that I have. Now, I want to move over to this matchup, okay, with the 49ers and the Cowboys. And, they go back way far. Way back, okay? And I wanted to look at the top 8 games that the Cowboys and 49ers have played. And this dates all the way back to the 1970s. So, let's take a little bit of look. I got a little bit of burpage going on, but I'm going to be good. It just keeps coming. I don't know why, Bandi. I need some Pepto-Bismol, all right? But let's go back all the way to 1971 NFC Championship game where the Cowboys actually, it was a very low-scoring game, and they won 14-3. And, you look back at this game and you think, well, Roger Staubach was playing.
Roger Staubach?
Yeah, he was playing way back when, and, it was just one of those things where, Dallas was the better team at the time, and it was a low-scoring game. And you know what? They got the dub in that one. And then I want to move on to 1970 NFC Championship game. Yeah, these guys were consistent at making it to the NFC Championship, where the Cowboys also won 17-10, and this was the first playoff showdown between the two teams. And, this was going into, Super Bowl, was it 5? Holy crap. All the way back, Super Bowl 5. But, This was another one of those games where, obviously, Cowboys, they were a spectacular team at the time. 49ers were still trying to make a name for themselves at the time. And, just how it is. Cowboys got the dub in that one. I'm not going to go too in-depth with a lot of these until we get further on. And then number 6, the 2021 wild card. That's a playoff game. The 49ers actually got the dub in this one, 23-17. And this is Dak Prescott. He's doing his thing. This is typical Cowboys as of late, just losing in the playoffs when they probably shouldn't have. But it was a very close game, but it happened early in the playoffs. So the implications weren't too crazy, but San Francisco pretty much dominated throughout the entire game. And the Cowboys made it kind of close during the end, but it really wasn't too big of a game compared to the other ones. And then going forward, number 5, 1993 NFC Championship game where the Cowboys absolutely demolished. It wasn't a demolishment, but it was a pretty sturdy win, 38-21. As you can see, there's a little bit of a trend here. The Cowboys, this is why they're America's team. They've been consistently good, but just as of late, they just haven't been able to get to the Super Bowl, which is something they need to do, okay? And this year, they're looking like they're going to get there more than ever. But, yeah, this was way back when, all right?
Yeah. Wait, was this the game where, who was it? Who was the Dallas player? Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson.
Was this when he called into a station and said, we're going to beat the crap out of the 49ers?
We will win.
We will win.
The ball game.
Okay, that was this game?
Yes.
Okay.
That was this game. A good eye, Bandi.
Thank you.
And he said you could put it in 3-inch headlines. Put it in the papers already. We will win the ball game, but that's awesome. That is just one of those things. But they were up 28-7 at one point, and it was all she wrote. The 49ers just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, Aikman even got hurt during that game, too.
Yeah. 1972, yes, they went 3 times in a row. They met in the playoffs. This one was a lot closer than the others, but 30-28, the Cowboys yet again getting the dub. And then going forward, 1994 NFC Championship game, 49ers get the upper hand, winning 38-28. This one, the 49ers were up 21-0. All right. And then Dallas was able to cut it close, 24-14, okay?
Okay.
Back Steve Young was rocking for the 49ers at this time, okay? Also Jerry Rice. So when you got a 49ers team like that, yeah, you go on and you win some games, all right? So this one, obviously, they flew to the Super Bowl. But Aikman, he did a pretty good job in this game, but just wasn't enough. So it was just one of those games. Came close, not close enough. 1992 NFC Championship game is number 2. The Cowboys win 30-20, and it's just another one of those games where the Cowboys were just pushing hard, and then the 49ers were able to really just come back. Again, Steve Young, Jerry Rice connecting for the touchdowns. They did amazing. Keeping it close, but the Cowboys got the last laugh with that final touchdown, and they won 30-20. And then number 1, you guys may remember it, the 1981 NFC Championship game where the 49ers won 28-27 over the Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys were hoping to make it back to the Super Bowl for the 6th time entering the 1981 NFC title game, but the Cowboys would first have to get past San Francisco, and this team, whew.
Oh, yeah, who was leading this team at quarterback?
Who was this? Who was the quarterback here?
Oh, for the 49ers? Come on.
Oh, yeah, Joe Montana, the guy that stopped playing because Steve Young decided to come in and start playing for him. And then Steve Young goes on to take that job from him. But at the same time, we look at this game, we look way back at the beginning of the season, and the Cowboys, they were whacked by this team by 31 points back in Week 6, okay? So this rematch would have to be a totally different story, and that's exactly what it is. And now it goes down as one of the best games to ever happen during the playoffs.
Yeah, that last play on the end where Joe Montana just rolls out, and then like just a mass of Cowboys defenders are like right there. He just goes,
classic.
You know what? Whatever. I'm just gonna throw it and just hope someone's back there. And what do you know?
Yeah,
right in the back corner.
It's a classic end, and it's something you see probably every time you turn on the NFL Network. I mean, you see that going into the history books. It's something we'll always remember, and hopefully we'll get something similar to it this weekend.
I would watch that game a lot whenever it was shown on ESPN Classic.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because like ESPN Classic was so good. Like, it would just scroll through a couple past games, and you just get that experience of maybe watching it live.
I know exactly how you feel. I go back and watch some of the old Browns games and see the commercials that they used to have. Extremely sexist commercials, by the way.
Yeah, some of these games though I actually remember because what was it? NFL, like the NFL always did like their top 100 games of all time, and they would just kind of show highlights or like a good bit of those games.
Yeah.
Back to back, and
this one always made it to the top 10. Always made it to the top 10. It was a wonderful match. A wonderful game.
Can't remember what it got placed though.
I don't either, Bandy. That was a long time ago. I used to religiously watch the NFL Network and watch their top 10s and all that stuff. It was a wonderful time in my life. But we're going to hop into a break because when we come back, we're going to preview the second hour and review the first, and then we're going to get into all the fun to come. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. Stop into the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in a Kia. Go Mustangs!
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
In 1982, Bob Baumhauer introduced Alabama to the Buffalo Wild Wing, and quite frankly, we've never been the same. Back then, it was wings and things in Tuscaloosa, but now, 40 years later, after 4 name changes, Baumhauer's Victory Grill is the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. Bob's Alabama Hot Chicken is something that has to be tried to believe, plus the new Bam Bam Chicken and the Louisiana-style Go Fish, a whitefish over rice topped with shrimp etouffee. And Baumhauer's is fighting inflation with some new affordable favorites. Visit Baumhauer's on the South Parkway today. Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Sorry. What's up, everybody? Captain Cool alongside the Bandi Man, Bailey Lowry.
Yep.
We had a little bit of fun in this first hour, I will say. We've gone over some cool stuff. We've gone over some fun stuff and kind of some sad stuff as well. But now we're going to get into the second hour, but not just yet, because I wanted to bring this up, Bandi. Did you watch any college basketball the other night?
I did watch a good bit of, well, I tried to watch it. I actually listened to Alabama Bandi.
Okay.
But that's about all I caught.
Yeah, how was that game, by the way? Because I didn't even get a chance to really watch it.
Brandon Miller went off as per usual.
Okay.
But, I mean, Crimson Tide came out with a good double-digit victory. I mean, Alabama's killing it.
What was it, 16-2?
Yeah, I mean, they actually came out with a like a bracketology prediction list, and Alabama was listed as the number 2 overall seed.
That makes sense, though. I mean, they are doing a very good job this year, and I gotta say, I'm excited to see how far they actually go. But I wanted to kind of look at number 13, Kansas State, all right, because they were able to take down in-state rivals number 2, Kansas, in the Sunflower Showdown for the second time since 2015. Wow. They played each other 17 times since 2015, okay? And Big Brother Kansas has been on top for quite a while, all right, for the majority of this time. And I got to say, it's nice to see Kansas State look to revitalize this whole rivalry. But, again, you know, you never know, because this could have just been one of those games, it's a fluke. Kansas State gets the dub. But, I mean, moving forward, can Kansas State continue to get this win?
See, I think so, because Kansas State, I feel like, is a slept-on team. I mean, they're only number 13.
Yeah.
But they're also 16-2.
Yeah.
They got a really good team and a good squad there over in Kansas State. So, I mean, I don't want to say that this is surprising, because still, Kansas, top program in the country.
Yeah.
For sure.
For a long time they've been.
But this Kansas State team is nothing to sleep on.
No. Definitely not.
These guys are good.
Yeah. And that's one thing I'm seeing a lot of in the college basketball world is a lot of teams are being slept on. There are so many teams with like 1 or 2 or 3 losses, and they are spectacular. But I will say, For Kansas, Jalen Wilson went off because 38 points from himself. Kansas State needed 2 players to score 24 points each, and that was Keontae Johnson as well as Sills. Good little game, but you know what? We're going to have a better second hour because when we come back, RJ White from Sportsline.com is going to be on with us talking NFL playoffs, and then the Bandi Man's got his play-by-play at 3:30. So, a lot to look forward to. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Champy's famous fried chicken started in Chattanooga, but the history of the fried chicken, hand-rolled Mississippi Delta tamales, and comfort food sides started decades before. Champy's famous fried chicken is made from an old family recipe from down in the Delta, and everything is fresh and homemade, including all of the sides and desserts. Come visit Champy's famous fried chicken. You'll find it's the best fried chicken and hand-rolled tamales you've ever had. On Madison Boulevard in the old Bison's location in the Publix Plaza with 22 taps in the full-service bar and 2 outdoor patios. See ya at Champy's.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is your one-stop shop for all things boating. Whether you are ready to surf with the newest Malibu wake boat or cruise in a Cobalt or Barletta pontoon, we have a boat ready for you and your family. Rambo Marine provides exceptional service second to none, so that you are ready to hit the water in no time. Stop by Rambo Marine today. We know boats. This hour of the Blitz is brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Online at FlemingHSV.com. The Blitz has been called. Welcome to the evolution of sports radio.
You see, in this industry, just like in life, everything evolves.
Call 256-576-4977 to make your audible for the Blitz.
That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
It's the Afternoon Blitz. Here are your hosts, Captain Cool and the Bandi Man.
Hello and welcome in. Second hour here in No Man's Land on a wacky Wednesday here on the Afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandi Man, Bailey Lowry.
Yep.
And you can find us on Twitter at @TheBlitz_sports and on Twitch and YouTube at WZZNTV. And you can't call in right now, okay, because we got a guy on the line that does a spectacular job talking NFL lines. But we'll get to that in a second because you guys need to know that this hour is presented by Woody Anderson Ford, the best place to get the best vehicles for the best prices. That's right. Drive home in a brand new 2023 Bronco, Mustang, or if you're into trucks, they have a plethora of nice ones for you, including the F-150, the Maverick, and the Ranger. And if that's not your cup of tea, they also have a beautiful Ford Expedition as well as more used vehicles. If you don't want to break the bank, go find out more at WoodyAndersonFord.com. Bobby White and his crew will take care of you guys. But now, time to get to the nitty-gritty, okay? Because on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, we got one guy named RJ White from Sportsline.com. RJ, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. My team, the Bills, advanced. They have a much tougher situation here this week, so we'll see if they can keep going and hopefully win the first Super Bowl ever in that franchise history.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna talk about them a little bit, but I kind of want to take things slow. All right, I want to look through some of these games and kind of just diagnose them a little bit. And one of them I want to get into firstly is the Chargers and the Jags game. I want to know what the heck happened to the Chargers team to make them just fall apart in the second half. And, I mean, they completely changed altogether, and they could not find the end zone. But what was really the main problem? Was it the coaching, or did the players just get a little too complacent with that 27-point lead?
Well, the main problem is that they're the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, this is a franchise that knows how to melt down unlike any other. And they actually have on Twitter, if you're on Twitter, a verb, Charger's going to Charger.
Yeah.
That's how they do. No lead is ever safe with them. Yeah, so they get up to this big lead, and then you look at their drive chart. Their next 4 drives after interception, a muff punt, and a punt and a kickoff were 8 yards, 1, -1, and -1.
Yeah.
They did a little bit better in the second half, a little fewer drives because Jacksonville was doing so well. So the defense really didn't get the job done in the second half like it did in the first half. And then the offense is really just predicated not on taking shots downfield, but on, putting together long drives. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes you're settling for field goal tries instead of touchdowns if you're not taking those big shots. So missing Mike Williams is a big deal there. He's obviously a great downfield talent for them. But it's just the offense and the offensive coordinator and really built around this offense that tries to pick up small gains instead of big gains, which is weird when you have Justin Herbert as your quarterback.
Exactly. And, I mean, one thing that really stood out to me was, the way that Trevor Lawrence was playing in that first half, he really was the reason why the Chargers could get up as much as they did, because those turnovers, those costly turnovers in Jags territory, which just totally just took apart that team at the beginning, but they changed and did a little bit better in the second if we saw that happen. But I want to move over to the Bengals now, and it's one of those things, okay? We were reminded why the Bengals can't win some games, and that's because their offensive line just cannot hold up against these powerhouse defensive lines. And the Ravens, they were really doing just that. I mean, other than that, they really didn't have too much going for them, but they still were able to keep in the game. But now I want to look at this, and it's like, what team are the Bengals going to face that's going to cause them the most problems moving forward?
Yeah, any team that can get pressure with its front four is going to be a problem for the Bengals. It's really unfortunate for them because their offensive line was gelling in the second half of the season and playing really well. And then they suffer an injury at right tackle to Lyle Collins out for the year. They suffer an injury at guard, and then last week left tackle. So you got 3 key guys on your offensive line. You're back to starting the guys you started last year. Now, last year they still got through this to the Super Bowl. So it's not like Joe Burrow cannot overcome this situation. But it really is putting the degree of difficulty up in his situation. And they had a little bit more of an advantageous run about who they faced. They got to face the Titans last time, and they were able to beat them, I believe. And then they had the Chiefs, and so we know that Chiefs were kind of running out of steam after that Buffalo game. So it's not going to be as easy for them.
RJ? Oh, we got a little bit of a shake-up. Did we lose him completely, Bandi? No, he's still there. Okay. Must have...
You got me?
Oh, yeah, we got you. Okay, good job.
Yeah, so I think the Bills do present a problem with they're able to get pressure even without Von Miller. So we'll see if they can handle that. And if not, they could be out for a quick exit. But I'm not going to count Joe Burrow out ever. It doesn't matter really what the offensive line is. If he's on the top of his game, he can lead the offense and score enough points to keep them in it.
Exactly. RJ White from sportsline.com talking playoff implications. And I want to move over to the Minnesota Vikings now because they really proved that they were the biggest frauds in the playoffs yet again. And it's another terrible loss for Kirk Cousins. And now it leaves us thinking, how much longer are the Vikings going to keep up with this crew that brings success during the regular season but just doesn't really do it when it truly counts?
You can't really hang this loss on Kirk Cousins. He had a great game, 31 out of the 39 completions, 273 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, he did what he needed to do. He couldn't create any plays when Justin Jefferson's throwing him a pass for whatever god awful reason they ran that play. That had no chance of working. But I think the personnel is there offensively. It's just defensively they were so behind the eight ball. They have a couple of good stars on that team, guys like Patrick Peterson, but they just don't have the depth. And any team that with a good coaching staff and a good offensive game plan can come in and expose them. As the Giants have shown, they were a running team for most of the year. Then they show up for that Vikings game. Daniel Jones throws for over 300 yards, and they almost win that game. They come in this time and finish the job with another 300-yard game from Daniel Jones. So this isn't really geared to be a passing offense, but the Giants are able to do it because they have a smart head coach. So it's really going to be an offseason of fixing the defense rather than the offense. I think Kirk Cousins is fine moving forward. I don't think you have to try to upgrade the quarterback position at this point. But with Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, a solid run game, pretty good offensive line when everybody's healthy, except for some injuries at the end of the year. I think they can have a chance as long as they get that defense upgraded.
Good stuff. And then similar to the Bengals, the Bills showed a few weaknesses in their matchup against a tool-less Dolphins squad. And is this a sign of bad things to come, or is it just simply playoff jitters for Buffalo? And what do they need to improve moving forward, especially against this really good Bengals team?
Yeah, I mean, the game, the score didn't reflect how the game went. The Dolphins averaged 3.3 yards per play. The Bills averaged nearly 6 yards per play, and they really beat them up and down the field. And it was just that defensive score, Buffalo committing bad turnovers. I believe it's the third game in a row where they've had 3 turnovers. And you can't do that against good teams. You know, you got away with it against Miami barely. But if you do that against a team like Cincinnati, they're probably going to beat you. So really what they need to do is focus on protecting the ball, not throwing bad interceptions, not giving Cincinnati a short field to where they can get points and they don't have to execute down the field and have their offensive line hold up over and over again. And if they're doing that, the defense is good enough to take advantage of that offensive line and have some success. So we will see if Buffalo's offense can do a better job of protecting the ball moving forward, because that's not going to fly against Cincinnati, and assuming they win, Kansas City definitely will take advantage of those turnovers.
Exactly, and I would love to see the Bills make it to the Super Bowl like they did back in 1993, and that was the last time we got to see them there, and it was against, the Cowboys, so maybe, something we might see this year. Knock on wood, just in case, because I will say this, the Bills are probably a top 3 favorite team for me, just mainly because my brother he's on some type of Bills thing now, and he kind of got me on the bandwagon as well, but I want to look at the Cowboys. Well, not really the Cowboys, but mainly the team that they faced in the first week of this playoffs, and centered mainly around the GOAT himself, Tom Brady, and kind of what his future is going to look like, because now it's moving forward and we don't know what he's going to do. And is this something where he could stay at Tampa Bay if there was something to happen in that organization, or will we see him on a different team going into next year?
No, I think it's hard to tell. I mean, he was not good. It wasn't just that the plays were bad. It wasn't just that the people around him didn't execute. He was not good himself in that game. And, that terrible interception in the end zone, I don't know what he was thinking there. It was that throw not even Brock Purdy is going to make as a 7th-round rookie in the playoffs. So much less Tom Brady shouldn't be making that. So I think he has to shoulder some of the blame there. I do know that they're probably going to look for offensive change in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Get some new offensive coordinator-wise. Maybe that's a selling point for Brady. You can help us pick the offensive coordinator if you want to go find a Bill O'Brien, a guy that you have a history with, and bring him in. We'll look to do that.
Yeah.
Or he might have an eye on a different situation. You just don't know. He might want to go play with Josh McDaniels in Las Vegas. So it's kind of really up to him at this point. I would have thought he'd be close to retiring and thinking about retiring, but with that game on his resume as his last game, I don't think he wants to do that at this point.
No.
RJ White with us from sportsline.com, does a fantastic job covering everything betting lines, sports lines, and NFL related. But moving on into now the divisional round, and sticking with the Cowboys too, because they're playing the 49ers, and these two teams have a very historic pretty much historic rivalry when it comes to the playoffs, meeting many times, and many of those games coming down and turning out to be some of the best NFL games of all time. Could you see that kind of quality happening here, or could you see either the 49ers or the Cowboys just running away with this one?
I think it's going to be tough. I think the Cowboys overperformed last week, just in that situation of Tom Brady not playing at his best, and the Tampa Bay defense, which actually is typically pretty solid, just completely falling apart. You're not going to get that from San Francisco. They're very sound. They're very well coached on both sides of the ball, and they have guys that you can't really pick on like Dalton Schultz is doing on Tampa. Like this just doesn't work. They're pretty strong up and down the field. So I don't know who you're going to take advantage of and keep going to and move the ball consistently against San Francisco, because nobody's really found a way to do it except for Jarrett Stidham somehow in Week 17. But so I'm not sure that they're able to do it. The 49ers offense, I mean, the thing that people look at with the 49ers is, well, how can they continue to be successful with a 7th-round rookie, Mr. Irrelevant, last pick of the draft at quarterback? And it's really, they've designed the offense to where the quarterback isn't the most important part, because they have these unicorns on offense with McCaffrey and in George Kittle to an extent. So he can do that. He can manage, and they just keep scoring points. It's that first Seattle game where he was starting it was his first road start. It was a Thursday night game, so it was a short week for him. He scored 21 points in that game. They won pretty handily, but it was only a 21-13 score. So, aside from that, every game Brock Purdy's played in, he scored at least 33 points on that team, and they did it again with Seattle. Backs were against the wall. They just completely had a great second half and scored 41 points in that game. So I don't know that the Cowboys have what it takes to stop them. Cowboys are a little bit weak in their depth in the secondary, and people have taken advantage of that in the past. Down the stretch, that was why they were giving up so many points. And you figure even a team like San Francisco can do that because they're very smartly coached. They will go to Brandon Ayuk, they will go to Jawan Jennings if they have to, and make that a focal part of the game plan rather than feeding Kittle, if that's what it takes. So they'll do what they need to be successful. I know they have a very strong team. And playing in San Francisco, I think it's going to be tough for Dallas to stay close in this one.
I'm glad you added on the last little bit on there, because, I really want to know if Brock Purdy could kind of hold this team by himself if everything kind of breaks down and he kind of relies on Brock Purdy himself to be that guy that needs to push through for the win. But I want to look now at the Giants team, because this is the third time they're going up against the Eagles this season, and the first time was pretty ugly. The second time, they got a little close to the victory. Is this the game where the Giants push through? Because Daniel Jones is rocking on all fronts, whether it's using his feet, whether it's using his arm. And this Eagles team, they got a little bit of a break, but we might get to see a good, healthy Jalen Hurts, but I don't know exactly what we're going to expect out of him. So what do you think is going to happen in this one?
Yeah, it's tough to predict because we just don't know what Jalen Hurts we're going to get, or Lane Johnson. Let's add that too, because he's a very key part of what makes that offense move at right tackle, one of the best in the league. And he's committed to playing in this game, but he's going to be very limited. And if the Giants, with their pass rushers, can take advantage of that spot, and he's not as effective as usual, putting Hurts on the run, he could get more banged up. And then if he's steadily getting more banged up during the game, and he's already starting the game at 80, 85%, what does that Jalen Hurts look like? So when he returned against the Giants, and the Giants almost won that game while they kept it close, a 6-point game, he really didn't do much as a runner. He was still pretty limited, and I think they didn't want him taking shots. So he had, I believe, 9 carries, 19 yards. It wasn't the type of Jalen Hurts game you typically see. We'll see if they are able to unleash that. He was not on the first injury report of the week for them. So that indicates they think his health is fine, and he's not a question mark at all. I'm pretty confident in him moving forward. The Giants, very well coached team, very good offense, really able to exploit a team's deficiencies. And Philly was a little shaky defensively at times, worse against the run than the pass, and that's how the Giants typically want to attack, is with the run. So we'll see if they're able to handle that, and maybe they pick on, like if Avonte Maddox can't come back, they pick on some depth with their receivers. But I think they can keep this one close. If you just go by strength of the team, when Hurts is healthy, when Johnson is healthy, I think the line of 7.5 is too low. But it being a third rematch, a third game between these two teams, a divisional matchup here, I couldn't really take the Eagles at this point, especially not knowing what we're getting for Hurts. I'm really leaning toward the Giants side. Favorites in playoff matchups of division rivals are 3-10 against the spread in the last 9 years.
Wow.
So these teams that are expected to win have been better in the division, maybe handled earlier matchups. It just isn't the case. When you get to the playoffs, things get a little tighter. So if this line was a little bit less, I would like the Eagles. At 7.5, it feels like you kind of want to be on the Giants side.
Yeah, which I mean, kind of looking at the Giants, like let's say that like it does happen, like Daniel Jones just absolutely goes off in this game. Saquon Barkley has like a Hall of Fame caliber kind of game, and the Eagles just can't seem to click, and they fall to the Giants. The way I've been seeing this team this year, I don't know if they have that edge to maybe make it all to either win the Super Bowl or make it all the way. But do you see something with this Giants team that could potentially push them all the way there and maybe get them to, well, one of their first Super Bowls in a pretty good amount of time?
It's hard to say. I mean, we have a very good example with the Giants. Both their first two Super Bowls, they were not that great of a team going in. One of them had a negative point differential, I believe like -2 or something, and they were able to catch fire and make it through the playoffs because they're well coached and they're able to win some matchups and figure out ways to exploit better teams and stay in the game, and then hopefully their kicker comes through for them in the end. So you can see that formula really working here. I mean, they do have one of the better coaches in the league in Brian Daboll. Not sure if he's going to win Coach of the Year because there were so many really good coaching jobs this year, but he's definitely in the mix. I mean, any other regular year, he would definitely win it, and he has that team overperforming and beating expectations in his first year. So they'll come up with the game plans. They've seen this team twice now. Did significantly better the second time, even with the reserves for the most part. They've got most of their defensive linemen, in addition to Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. So we'll see if they're able to take the lessons they learned in those first two games, apply them forward, and make this a close game. Then you turn around and you say, can they do the same thing against a team they don't know as well, like the 49ers, assuming that's the game. And I'm not sure. That kind of seems like their ceiling to me. If they can upset the Eagles, great. But then I think you wouldn't get knocked out against the 49ers if you have to face them.
Yeah.
See, I don't know why you're bringing up the 49ers. I don't think they'll be in there. I think it's going to be the Buffalo Bills. That's who's going to be in the Super Bowl.
Oh,
no! I thought you said the Super Bowl.
Forward.
No, I thought you said the Super Bowl. I thought when they get to the Super Bowl,
no,
they wouldn't be able to beat it. I'm like, I don't know what you mean the 49ers. I was hoping the Bills.
They got a tough
the
competition.
would have been stepping in there and doing another one of those neutral site things. Yeah, we're just going to put two NFC teams in the Super Bowl because of the Bills-Bengals.
Just why not? Just everything's all screwy anyway. But still, great stuff though. There's a lot of competition in the NFC side, and you kind of see on the AFC side. I mean, there's the Bengals and the Bills and the Chiefs as well. You can't forget about them. But then you see those sleeper teams like the Jaguars, like the Giants, and you think, is there a real chance for, I mean, I know we just talked about the Giants, but now I kind of want to look over at the Jaguars. This is the last thing we're going to end off with because, I mean, the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, he was about to be a guy that was probably going to be packing his bags and walking away from Jacksonville for as long as he could. But then he did the amazing things that he did in the second half. He was able to come back, and he was able to have some Waffle House at the end of the night with his friends and celebrating that way. But now he's going up against a little bit more of a tough competition in the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. And what does really Jacksonville need to do, and how could they even think about winning this game against this just high-powered Patrick Mahomes-led Chiefs squad?
Well, that Waffle House thing had me convinced he's going to be the Jacksonville quarterback for life. I mean, you don't get any more Gardner Minshew than celebrating a Waffle House after a playoff win. So what do they need to do? They need Patrick Mahomes to make mistakes, and he has done that through the stretch down the stretch. I mean, close games against Denver twice, close game against Houston. The Chiefs outplayed those teams in both games, and the reason that they were close is because of turnovers, and they're just letting teams stick around. Teams that aren't as good as Jacksonville stick around and get close to winning those games. So if they aren't at their best and they're being a little bit sloppy with the football, they're going to leave the door open for Jacksonville to score a bunch of points. And with Jacksonville showed, they can score a bunch of points in a hurry with that second half if they need to, and they go up tempo. So I don't know that it's necessarily a lot for the Chiefs to win, but you look at the first meeting between these teams back in week, whatever it was, 5 or 6, the Chiefs and the Jaguars. Chiefs won by 10. Jacksonville had a +3 turnover margin in that game, so they were out. They had three takeaways, no giveaways in that game. Chiefs absolutely dominated them. Aside from that yardage, I think there was a 170-yard margin there, and they were just won by 10. They won running away. So if in a situation where Jacksonville has a +3 turnover margin, they only lose by 10, what do they need to do to compete in this game? I mean, if the turnover margin is even and Patrick Mahomes is protecting the ball, Chiefs might win this game by 20+.
Good stuff, and I look forward to it. I want to see the Chiefs maybe put up a little bit more fight than we expect. The Jaguars, and then I want to see the Giants possibly push for another appearance in the Super Bowl after being the underdogs that they've been for the last forever, really. But a bunch of great stuff from you, RJ. Let the people know where they can find you on socials and where they can read your work.
You can find all my work at Sportsline. All my picks are made there when I make them. So if you sign up for the Sportsline app and get notifications from me, you will be able to get my picks when I place them and go and back them if you want to do that in the market. And then you can find me on Twitter at RJWhite1.
Great stuff, RJ. Thank you very much for hopping on with us. We'll see what we can do next week during Wednesday. And, hey, go Bills.
Go Bills.
Great stuff. He's a good guest. He really is a good guest. And, I'm glad that we have somebody that just knows what he's talking about when it comes to this NFL stuff. I mean, he was
100%.
Man was bringing stats that I was like, oh, geez, I probably, could have had that up. Geez, all right. But this guy, he's got it in his mind, and he lets us know exactly what we need to. And I did think it was a little goofy. It was like, I want to see the Giants go up against the Bills. And I was like, he lost me. You lost me as well. But I know exactly what happened there. You got a little confused, but that's totally fine. I honestly,
thought we were skipping ahead to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I gotcha. But you know what would be awesome? Because first off, the Giants, not only do they have to play the Eagles, but then they have to either go up against the Cowboys or the 49ers. So this is going to be the toughest thing they've ever had to go through, even whenever Eli Manning was in there and they had to go up against the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl. But now it's a different squad. You got Daniel Jones, and he's actually making a pretty good name for himself in this playoff run as of right now. And, hey, you know what? It's looking to be a hell of a divisional round. And you know what? I think that brings us to the break, Bandy. I think it brings us to the video game section of the show.
All right, because oh my gosh, we got some stuff to talk about.
Very nice, and I'm looking forward to every little bit of it. And you guys should be as well. Don't go anywhere, because you're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now, because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on 2 services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Van Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
The Blitz has been called.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Afternoon Blitz. Here on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Network, I'm the Bandi Man Bailey Lowry, joined across the glass by Captain Cool John Abraham.
Man, we cooled down so much that I had to put a jacket on.
You cooled down that much?
I cooled down that much. It's cold in here, man.
It is. It's probably going to be just as cold outside.
Well, it's actually, I think we're having a little storms a brewing, so it's actually warmed up a little bit.
Oh, I can't wait for it to be 30 this weekend then.
That's exactly what it's going to be. Hey, Bandi.
What's that?
Guess what?
What?
This hour is presented by Woody Anderson Ford. That's right, the best place to get the best vehicles for the best prices. That's right, Bobby White and his crew will take care of you guys. So go and check out his service lanes and all the vehicles they'll offer over at Woody Anderson Ford. And if you're not all about going for a little drive, just check them out online, WoodyAndersonFord.com, and you can see all of what they have to offer, including the used vehicles that they've got, and they have very, very nice ones. I know whenever I have my car troubles, like yesterday, I need my car fixed up a little bit. The only place that I go is Woody Anderson Ford, and they do a wonderful job at getting me in and out as soon as possible. So if you are also having car troubles with your beautiful Ford, go and check them out. It could be anything, even. It doesn't even have to be a Ford. But, Bandi, back to you.
Well, we got some good video game news today. Well, let's see. Modern Warfare 2 is actually making some very questionable decisions. I didn't think would happen because, some fan favorite modes from Warzone 1?
Yeah.
They're coming.
Hey.
Not in the way you think, though.
Oh.
And let's see. Oh, man, I got so much crap to talk about. Let's see. Yeah, Overwatch teams are uniting together because, they're not getting paid. That's all coming up here on the E play-by-play.
I hate not getting paid.
Time to catch up on esports with E-Play-by-Play with the Bandi Man.
First, I'm gonna get this loaded up.
Yeah, it's totally fine. If you guys don't know, Bandi Man is doing everything in the production room right now, so you gotta sit tight with him, all right? You gotta sit tight with him. Bandi, you want any music today?
Yes, actually.
Yeah?
I think I was actually trying to get it over here because I was trying to figure out how it actually worked over here.
Okay, well, if you want, I can always cue it up for you. Okay, there you go.
Got it.
That's nice.
Because you know what comes out today on Game Pass?
What comes out?
The Persona 3 and 4. They come out on Game Pass tonight at 11 o'clock, so I had to get some of my favorite music in.
Heck yeah. You might want to turn it down a little bit. It's pretty loud.
A little down.
But very nice. That's actually really cool. I might even hop on after work and check them out myself.
Yep, they go live at 11 p.m. tonight.
Sweet.
So it might be a little late, but
I gotta be in bed.
You can go ahead and pre-install them and go ahead and do it. They are some of the best JRPGs of all time.
Sweet.
Go for it. But now on to kind of the real news stories today, as we got. Overwatch League teams are reportedly seeking collective legal action against Activision Blizzard for losses.
Oh.
So what's going to be going on is that because of the losses that have been sustained economic-wise, like they have not been making a profit in a good while. And right now, this season is at an all-time low due to the pulling out of different sponsors. COVID was a part of it, the pulling out of sponsors, and then we had the state of California versus Activision Blizzard sexual harassment case.
Oh.
If we all remember that. I do not want to go into the details because they were bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. But that absolutely tanked not only the reputation of Activision Blizzard, but pretty much every single one of their products, as well as the publicity of their products, because after that case came out, no one was really playing Overwatch. No one wanted to play any Activision Blizzard games for a long time.
Yeah.
And so the losses from that, teams are now meeting under a collective and under one law firm and are and are looking to seek legal action and reparations for those economic losses during those times. Because, I mean, the team's got to have up costs. The teams have management costs, up costs, employment costs.
Yeah.
Different costs, a ton of different costs. And even now, they're still preparing for the start of the sixth OWL season.
There you go.
Yeah, Overwatch League season.
You got it?
Let's see. Oh, no, the music stuff. They kind
Oh,
of just turned
Hey.
off my train of thought.
Here, it was Persona 3 and 4.
Persona, yeah, look up. You know what? I'll say in a little bit. I'm going to finish the story.
Okay, do that.
But the deadline has been extended to field a starting lineup until March 13, 2023, and we don't even have a start date for the start of the OWL season yet.
Huh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But look up Persona 5 Whims of Fate.
Okay,
there we go.
Whims of Fate. I got that.
That's a good one.
I'll get the extended version of it for you.
Now, the Shy, a professional LPL player, has been permabanned from the Korean League of Legends server after reportedly breaking a brand new rule.
Can't do that.
What is this rule?
What is it?
It's nothing bad.
Okay.
So, the LCK, the Korean Championship Series for League, they issue out, rental accounts for professionals to use when they play on the Korean server. Ones that have all the champions unlocked. Perfect. Ones that have all the champions unlocked. All this other stuff.
Yeah.
And what it's going to be now, those rental accounts can no longer be used. They are banning them in waves. The LCK doesn't want you using them anymore. So, my guess, the Shy was probably on one of those rental accounts, as he's not a LCK player. He's a LPL player.
Yeah.
Different country, different region, different rule set.
A lot of stuff.
Competitive League gets very complicated.
It really does.
But now, one of those accounts has been permabanned. He was on stream broadcasting, so it was banned live on stream. But now, he's actually on a brand new account with a hidden name, still on the Korean server. So, nothing huge, but it's also they really want to promote their Champions Queue.
Yeah.
That badly. And what's the general consensus around Champions Queue? It's not very good.
Never is.
When you've got the same people playing the same game over and over. It's there's maybe less than 100 people in that queue. It's just restricted to just professional players. Not a good look. Okay, speaking of not a good look, Modern Warfare 2, what in the world are you doing?
What are they doing?
Decision-wise. For one, they decided to delay, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, they decided to delay Season 2 of Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone from February 1st to February 14th. If this is sounding familiar, it happened the same time with Vanguard. You would think from one year to the next they would, work on fixing their mistakes. They're making the same mistakes that they made back then. They had an extra year to work on this game.
Yeah.
Where's the care? Where are the game modes?
Gone.
It's everyone loves Shoot House and Shoot the Ship and all that. And God, what was the other one? Just Shipment.
Yeah, Shipment, yeah.
Yeah. Why aren't those just permanent modes?
They got to it with Modern Warfare 2019 where they had Shoot the Ship, where it was both Shipment and Shoot House. So it was the best of both worlds.
Exactly.
I know people love their Shoot House because it's very fun. But Shipment, again, for the people who like to grind camos and stuff like myself, I like that as well, but I like a good mix. So Shoot the Ship needs to make an arrival again.
Yeah, these community fan favorite modes, I don't see why they aren't just permanent additions, because they can only just make your game more popular.
Yeah.
You know who had this kind of franchise mindset set in stone early on?
Who?
Halo. Halo did the perfect kind of just letting everyone play their own way, the way they want to play Halo.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the co-op campaign. People like the Ackman on YouTube framed this perfectly. You got the co-op campaign people on one place. You got the Forge people. You've got hardcore multiplayer, the ranked players, all that. You got the custom game mode people.
Oh yeah.
All the custom map creators. You've got each little subset of people who play the game a certain way, all holding up the same thing and making it better.
Which is back now. All of that stuff's in Halo Infinite. So it's just it might have taken a little bit, but now that it's there, this game is going to go down as one of the better, if not best, Halo games to ever come.
Yeah, but what do you got with Call of Duty now? How has Call of Duty taken what they had in the past? You used to have co-op campaign.
You did.
You had, honestly, you had Spec Ops players, which surprised me.
Yeah.
Like hardcore Spec Ops players. You had the zombies people. You had, like, again, the hardcore story people. Casual multiplayer, people who made their own multiplayer modes, the ones who maybe just enjoyed the 1v1 versus 3v3s because they're like smaller team size, or the ones are on the opposite side of the spectrum, the ones who just only played ground war.
Yeah.
And like those huge like player count modes. And then like you had some in Black Ops 1 who only played wager matches.
Yeah.
Like with COD points and the party game modes. Like all of those crowds, the ones that used to be there, as those modes have been just picked and chosen from and just removed from the game with each new title, those players have disappeared.
Yeah, gun game was not in the new Call of Duty game at launch, and that's one of those things that's always been there. Gun game and what is it, the hide and seek game, Prop Hunt.
Prop Hunt, yeah.
Prop Hunt, not there either.
Prop Hunt could be its own new little community.
I haven't even been able to play that game.
I remember playing it on Modern Warfare Remastered, and it was awesome.
It was so good.
But then, I mean, you're just kind of left with what you want your community to play and what you feel like they should play.
Warzone.
Warzone. You just want to be able to level up your guns fast and use them in Warzone.
Yeah.
That's where their whole monetization, gameplay, and game creation policy is turned into.
It's sad to see, too, because it's like, I love old Call of Duty. I don't want to deal with Battle Royale stuff all the time, and they shove it in your face, as well as the weird packs that are very overpriced for what you get. And also, I don't care for Messi. I don't care for all those guys to be in the game. They don't make any sense when it comes to actually, a shooter game. Like, what, Messi?
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool collaboration, yeah.
It's interesting.
But at the same time, I mean, I miss, like, the original characters we would create, or, like, having the factions that we would play as in multiplayer, Like, that made Call of Duty feel really authentic.
Yeah.
Man, good times.
Good times, man.
Good times. I need to go back and play Black Ops 3 Zombies now.
Yeah.
But now, speaking of, picking and choosing which modes return.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that.
Warzone 1. What was one of its most popular modes?
I don't remember. What was it?
The one that took place on Alcatraz Island.
Okay, yeah, that one.
Rebirth Resurgence. Now, Resurgence mode is going to be making a comeback in Warzone 2.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
What?
There might be a platform that's getting it first.
No.
It's coming to Warzone Mobile first.
Okay. Well, at least it's not like, at least everybody has that. Everybody could have that instead of, like, exclusively putting it on PlayStation first.
No. Now, I'm about to say, if they put it on PlayStation first, okay, we'd be having a whole different issue here.
I'd be pissed.
We'd be having Xbox Warzone players against PlayStation Warzone players. It'd be rough. But more regions are getting added in the mobile version, as well as Rebirth and a content update for the Team Deathmatch experience. These changes should be coming with the beginning of Season 2 for Modern Warfare 2 Warzone 2.0. But think about it. That was another pillar of the Call of Duty community. What happened with Warzone 1 and Warzone 2? All the Rebirth players, they didn't touch it. They probably hopped on Modern Warfare 2 Warzone 2 for a little bit, and it's like, oh, this is nowhere near close to what I was playing before, and just dropped it.
True.
And guess what? You can't go back to Warzone 1 and play Rebirth because it's gone.
Say it.
You just have Caldera now. So if you like Caldera, have fun. I mean, it made my computer freeze and crash multiple times.
It made a lot of people not even able to play Call of Duty in the first place.
Yeah, that Caldera map needed some optimization.
It really did.
But again, Rebirth players, are you going to wait for it to maybe be in Warzone 2? Or are you going to hop on mobile first and try it out?
I mean, you link a controller with the mobile version and see how that goes. It's not as good as Xbox, PlayStation, or even, PC.
I think every PC player is wanting to slap you after hearing that. But we also did actually have a little bit of an awards event go on over the weekend. The New York Game Awards happened. Phil Spencer, again, head of Xbox, went up on this podium, thanked multiple people, gave a little bit of an update. Nothing huge, though. Just said that we just want to make games more accessible. Just talking about the deal.
Of course.
Because, we want to get games more accessible. Hey, Sony, remember how we said we would treat Call of Duty like Minecraft? Do you know how big Minecraft is now?
Huge.
I'm still playing it.
Same.
You know why? It's a fundamentally great game.
And it's on everything.
It's on everything. It is literally on everything. It's on Switch. It's on your phone.
It's on Nintendo DS.
It is on Nintendo DS?
3DS.
Well, yeah.
It's on the PlayStation.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, it's on the PlayStation Vita.
Wow.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, it's on the Vita, Sony. You want Call of Duty on the Vita? Microsoft will let you have Call of Duty on the Vita.
Well, last time they did that, it didn't really go too well.
Yeah, but it gave us Persona 4 Golden, so
It did.
I can't be mad at it too
It's
much.
true.
But best game of the year, Elden Ring once again taking that honor at the Big Apple Game Awards, as well as Vampire Survivors taking the Off-Broadway Award for Best Indie Game. I like that name for an award, the Off-Broadway Award.
Nice.
Which I did just install on Game Pass. I've not had a chance to try it yet, but I've heard very good things, and it takes up very little space.
Oh, yeah?
It's like 300 megabytes.
Okay.
It's like pretty much a little smaller than Valheim, actually. And then Statue of Liberty for Best Liberty Award for Best World, Elden Ring. All right, very nice. And finally, Metal Hellsinger got the recognition it deserved for Best Music in a Game.
Nice.
Like a metal-themed hack-and-slash shooter game where the whole goal is that you stay on beat with your actions, and that when you do, the music kicks up more and more. And when you get to the highest multiplier, the vocals kick in.
It's so cool.
And it's all cameos from, like, awarded heavy metal singers and talented artists. Yes.
It's legit.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And it is. I'm still kind of getting used to the gameplay. It's a weird kind of rhythm game. But, let's see, the A-Train Award.
A-Train.
Oh, no. For Best Mobile Game. Oh, I don't know about the A-Train Award. Have they watched The Boys?
A-Train.
A-Train's not deserving of an award, but Marvel Snap did end up taking it, as it should have. Marvel Snap, man, just winning awards left and right, just blowing the mobile scene out of the water.
Do you think they called it the A-Train Award because it grew to such popularity so quickly?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean...
Why not call it the Flash Award?
I mean, did they call it the A-Train Award because it ran over someone's girlfriend?
In the first episode of your series?
Not the first episode, the first 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I guess it was the first 5 minutes of the first episode, yes.
It's just a crazy opener.
Yeah, that's what
show.
It turned my girlfriend off of it as soon as I turned it on. I was like, dang it, it's a really interesting show.
Yeah, it seems to be a very anti-girlfriend show.
Jeez.
But, moving on, my final story. I never thought I'd be talking about this game again until it came out. But IGN recently got an exclusive showcase for the new Killer Clowns from Outer Space game.
Sweet.
Have you ever seen this movie?
Me, myself, no. But I know a lot about it because of all the stuff that... I mean, it's just classic.
It's a classic kind of cult horror movie, which, I mean... Would I even call it a horror movie now? It was just kind of funny. It was just kind of very dumb.
Sci-fi horror comedy.
It does have some creepy stuff, like with the... like within the ship and everything. I'm not going to go into spoiler territory in case you hadn't seen a movie from the 1980s. But they have recently gotten hands on like detailed descriptions of what each class of clown is going to do, because this is made by the same people who made Friday the 13th the game.
Yep.
So it's going to be that same kind of like horror style, probably either one or multiple people controlling like the clowns against a group of survivors.
Yeah.
So first you have the Trapster, based on Rudy from the film. It's a trap-laying class designed to lock down humans and help other clowns find them. Okay, so there are multiple clowns per match. Good to know. His main weapon is the Jawbreaker Mace. That doesn't sound very clown-like.
Doesn't sound very comfortable either.
Which causes an explosion of popcorn on contact. That does sound clown-like.
Okay.
When popcorn sticks to humans, all clowns are able to see them through walls and on the map.
That's weird.
That's already sounding pretty strong.
It's kind of interesting, though.
Let's see. The Tracker. Similar to the Trapster, the Tracker, inspired by Spikey from the movie, is able to use popcorn to highlight humans to the rest of the clown team. I'm starting to see a pretty common trend here with the popcorn. The Tracker has a popcorn bazooka for an explosive long-range option and the balloon dog that will point toward the nearest human. As for enemies that are trying to escape, Tracker can chase them down on foot thanks to being able to vault over obstacles or instead hop in his invisible car, which can be driven around the outdoor areas of the map. Sounds kind of cool, actually. The Scout. Jumbo the Scout, as his name suggests, is a scouting class designed to push beyond the front lines and seek out enemies. He's the only clown who can use the clown jump, to leap into previously unexplored territory, which makes him an ideal reconnaissance option?
You got it.
His hypnotic lure ability will draw humans toward him, or he can quickly move close to them by using Lackey Swap, a skill that instantly lets the scout switch places with a nearby minion. All right, these are pretty in-depth kits, like, for a game like this. Like, a lot of, I'm seeing, like, versatile stuff, like being able to, like, the vaulting and the stuff with already the stuff with the Trapper being able to see through walls and stuff. Like, a lot of the stuff is looking pretty powerful. So I'm interested to see how all of these abilities are going to kind of, like, mesh together in one match. And we still have 2 more classes.
Nice.
The Fighter, which, by the way, this is the goofiest look I've ever seen. It's just like the clown jumpsuit, and he's just got a pair of boxing gloves on.
Small man, too, compared to all the other ones.
Okay, he's just a straight-up combat class. He's armed with a pair of boxing gloves that can be used to pummel humans. Seems about right. And is the most agile. But this clown, based on Shorty from the movies, is more than just a brawler. Oh. His pizza box skill will be familiar to anyone who has played a prop hunt game, as it transforms him into a pizza box. Handy for a bit of stealth between the rough and tumble. Like Tracker, the Fighter is also able to quickly chase humans with a vehicle, but his speedy tricycle can also be used indoors too.
I like that.
I kind of like that because with that kind of prop hunt, it's like, all right, you can hide in your environment, but at the same time, if you know what that ability already is, he can only turn, it looks like, into a pizza box.
Yeah.
So you kind of can see what to look for.
Maybe there's a few pizza boxes, though, like, laying around the ground.
Yeah, like a good bit of counterplay to it. I like it.
Yeah.
Now the tank. The tank, inspired by Chubby from the movie, is, yep, as you guessed it, the tank. Armed with an extendable jawbreaker that can be charged up for increased range and power, the tank is the most physically formidable clown in the troop. With his Sticky Bash ability, he's able to lay down a carpet of cotton candy that traps anyone caught within it. And the Rage Rush skill allows him to charge into enemies and bash through obstacles. I'm already seeing what people are going to be doing with this guy. The tank is also able to reenact one of the film's most memorable scenes, as he can stick a straw into any human caught in a cotton candy cocoon and slurp them up and gain a temporary movement buff. Yeah, that's what they do in the movie, is that they trap people in cotton candy and drink them.
Jeez.
Killer clowns from outer space.
Spooky.
But I'm already starting to see, instead of drinking them from the cotton candy, I can already see you trap them in the cotton candy and then you just bull charge through them. And it's going to be the funniest looking thing I've ever seen in my life. I can't wait, but we don't have a release date on this game as of yet. But, I mean, they've already got what look like pretty finalized designs, as well as what they already have in mind for how they want to play and what their kits are going to be. So I imagine we could probably see another trailer here pretty soon. And I'm excited. It sounds cool. I like what they're doing with this game. I'm seeing the passion behind it.
Yeah, they really are adding a lot to it, and I'm liking the character designs. Just the whole style they're going for. It really just tells you this is the Killer Clowns video game, and it's gonna be amazing.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. And they already had a chance to practice for Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah.
But with that, we're gonna take a quick time out. When we come back, we're gonna wrap up the show, wrap up the second hour. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on 2 services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options, from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Guys, when we were 20, we never had to worry about spontaneity. And now that we've gotten older, spontaneity has been replaced with pills and injections. We're just trying to keep that intimacy, but it's taken away from spontaneity. At Advanced Life Clinic, we now offer GainsWave, which uses sound waves to non-invasively treat this issue with no need for pills or injections. Just give us a call, 256-888-9367, or check us out online, advancedlifeclinic.com.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
The Blitz has been called.
Alabama's the best team in the country. Honestly, I've watched them play probably 4 times. They're the best team. Houston is right there with them, but they beat Houston. But just off the top of my head, Alabama's the best team in the country, and that's painful for me to say.
That was Auburn legend Charles Barkley.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
By the way, welcome back to the Afternoon Blitz, everybody.
Nah, don't worry about that.
Bandy
Don't worry
Man,
about that.
Bandy Man here with Captain Cool. But that was Auburn legend Charles Barkley saying Alabama is the best team in the country.
Hey, he knows what he's talking about, dude. This team is insane. I mean, first off, you beat Kentucky. Obviously, Kentucky not really sitting too well nowadays in college basketball, but 78-52. Then go on to Arkansas and beat that team, which is 25th ranked, 84-69, and then absolutely demolish. Just take LSU off of the map because they won 106-66. And then Vanderbilt, hey, they put up a little bit of a fight, but 78-66. This team is rocking and rolling, and we haven't even looked at the games previous to that against Mississippi, both Ole Miss and Mississippi State.
Which, I mean, now in kind of the general poll, like in that bracketology thing, I mean, being considered a number 2 overall seed, which we are only behind Purdue, who is also playing very well this year. But we've now got a pretty good SEC lineup. We're playing well. We have a good coach. We have great players. This doesn't feel normal.
No.
I love that Alabama basketball is good again.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's insane. And Houston is sitting at number 1 in the country yet again.
Yeah.
Only loss this season from Alabama.
From us.
And they're on a 9-game win streak. This team's 18-1. 5-0 away and 6-0 in their own conference, which whatever. I mean, they're playing Tulane, UCF, and all those guys. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But still, you play against Alabama and you lose, and Alabama has still just slowly been eking towards that top 3 spot. They haven't even touched it yet, and it's upsetting because, again, underdogs all throughout this college basketball world, and it's insane to see Alabama just being so dominant in their own right.
Yeah, I mean, what's got it now is that, I mean, Kansas is going to move out of the top 3.
Yeah.
Or top 3. So it's going to be Houston, Purdue, us at that 3 spot. And we just need Purdue to lose.
That's all we do.
Just Purdue to lose. They lose one game, they just slip up once. And then we're right back at number 2. Yeah. And we're right behind Houston. We're coming for that 1 spot, Houston.
Yeah. Purdue,
Alabama basketball's coming.
Yeah, and I mean, they obviously they deserve it. I mean, the way that they've been able to beat these teams just nonstop too, just like consistent wins. And then you look at Purdue; they also have 1 loss in the season. Alabama's sitting at 2 losses in the season. So respect to those 2 teams, but it's coming, guys. The waves are about to come in, and it's about to be a heavy tide.
Yeah, which the student section at the Alabama basketball games never ceases to amaze me. Like, it's truly incredible how many people show out to Coleman Coliseum each Saturday, or really each home game, and just to support the Tide. And then now we are moving forward into the season. I believe we play with Missouri. Yeah, Missouri on Saturday.
Missouri's next. So that's the next opponent to fall to the Tide.
Yep.
Either way, this second hour has been brought to you guys by Woody Anderson Ford, the best place to get the best vehicles for the bestest of prices. And we appreciate you and them for sticking around with us during this wonderful Wacky Wednesday episode of the Afternoon Blitz here in No Man's Land. But, guys, we had an amazing show today. Let's keep it rolling into tomorrow and on into the weekend. You guys know what it is. For me, for the Bandi Man, we'll see you guys in 22 hours. You've been listening to the Afternoon Blitz.